And welcome to another episode of the Quantum Paradigm Podcast. I'm your host, Allison Alchemia. I am so happy to be here again with you. I really have to take a second and just give gratitude to all my listeners and to my audience in general. I love you guys, and the feedback that I've been getting on the podcast has just been amazing. If you have not taken a moment to give a review, I would really, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate that, because it helps the algorithm just get trained to push this content out to more people. And if you're here listening to this, and I know that you value this and that you know that other people would as well. So with that aside, I hope everyone, if you're in the United States, that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I know I did. I had the perfect blend of downtime and quiet time and family time, and it was just really refreshing. So I'm just very much in that grateful, spirit of gratitude, which is amazing. But today, I want to talk to you about something that's happening in 2025, and I want to let you know what you can expect. Now, if you've been around here for a little bit, you know that I am hosting an international retreat in Costa Rica for healers who are ready to ignite for global impact. So I want to talk about what is involved in this reset experience. It is not just a retreat. It is a retreat, but it's so much more, which is what we're talking about today. And this is different than anything I've ever done before, since this iteration of business, which began in 2023. So first of all, let's back up and let's just acknowledge together that 2024 is almost over. I'm catching myself and censoring myself. But what the heck? 2024, what happened? Where did it go? Right? The nerd in me really wants to approach this from a physics standpoint and say time is speeding up. And then the super nerd inside of me wants to counteract that and say, well, wait, time doesn't exist. It's not measurable. It's not quantifiable. Time doesn't exist. And furthermore, it calls into question everything that Einstein has ever told us about space and time. A brain explosion. That's another podcast episode for another time. But your girl has been doing some deep dives in her downtime over the Thanksgiving holiday. And wow, we're going to have to up our game around here when we start talking about the laws of physics as we know it. Really, I'm questioning things that I've never questioned before, and I question a lot. And if we're going to come from a scientific standpoint, that's what science is all about, right? Question, experiment, question, experiment, question, experiment, okay? Anyway, I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but I want to draw our attention to the fact that 2024 is rapidly coming to a close. And if you've been online in the online space over the last couple of years, you can join me in laughing at the collective, including ourselves. If we can't joke about ourselves, then what are we doing here, right? I'm making fun of all of us for at the end of 2023. Let's rewind a year back and go to the end of 2023. Do you guys remember all the memes and reels going around the internet? 24 is going to be the best year, and this is our year, and we did the same thing at the end of 2022. And I don't know, because I was just coming out of hibernation in 2022, back into the online space, because you guys know I was offline for a very, very long period of my adult life, and that was on purpose. And I'm glad I was. So I don't know what we were doing at the end of 21 on the internet, but I really hope that we're not back on here saying 2025 is going to be our best year yet. Let's just be real for a second and say 2025, we've got our work cut out for us, okay? Can we all just raise our hands and agree that we are on the precipice of some major shifts as a collective in business, in medicine, in life in general, and we've got our work collectively really cut out for us? So now that we can all agree, right? It's I'm imagining we're all the listeners and me, we're just sitting at this round table having a discussion, right? We've got our work cut out for us in 2025. So it's very fitting that this reset experience is happening in 2025, shortly after the spring equinox. So if you have been following me for a while, you know that I really intuitively tune into the more astrological calendar rather than I do the whatever we would call the Gregorian calendar, where it's like we're coming to the end of the year, but astrologically we're just two-thirds, maybe three-fourths of the way through. The end of the year, according to the Western astrological chart, at least, says that the end of the year is coming in early March of next year, right? And then according to that springtime will be around the exact same time that Reset Retreat is being hosted. The dates for the retreat are May 30th to June 4th. This is perfect because when we get into like February, that's when we're entering the deep, deep winter, at least in the Northern Hemisphere and the Western Zodiac. We are entering into that time of coming close to death. And mid-March, the spring equinox, is when we are being reborn and coming into life. And that's when you can look outside your window and start seeing these buds of life coming through, right? You see little, around here we have like daffodils around that time. And so according to the astrological calendar, we're not even coming up on the end of the year yet. But it is approaching. So I'm just giving gratitude for the fact that the dates have worked out the way that they are, because right around the end of May is when in 2025 we will be feeling this urge to ignite within, okay, and to bring forth these ideas and these thoughts that have been really incubating and percolating for the last 6 to 9 months or so, right? So I just want to drop in and let you guys know what you can expect in this incubator, because this is a retreat, like I said, but it is so much more. It's an incubator. It's really a container for the leaders of what I have been calling for the last several years the quote new paradigm. It's really cool, by the way, to see a lot of other people using this language, because another pillar of what I'm all about here and always have been is that we create our reality with our words. Now, we can go deeper, we can go meta and say that we're creating it from our thoughts, our belief structures, our feelings, all of that, and I do believe that. However, what brings 3D form into existence are your words. You can even apply this to the AI revolution that's happening. Like, what do we communicate with AI with? Words, right? How do we interact with each other? Words. So we're creating our reality. And as we step into that, we have to really own the types of language that we are using. And so when I started saying the new paradigm, and I'm using air quotes here, if you're listening on the podcast, you can't see that, but I used those words years ago very intentionally, because paradigm is a big construct. It is a giant concept, a big idea, okay? And calling it new, I mean, we could go so deep on this and so meta. I'm not going to, because I really do want to tell you what you can experience, what you can expect on this retreat coming up in 2025. But the new paradigm is being set into place, brick by brick, metaphorically speaking, for the next several millennia. This is not like, there's been some cute ideas that are, I think, really helpful about like the 80-year rule, like every 80 years, something conceptually happens with the collective. That's cool, and I think it's accurate. That's not what I'm talking about when I use the word paradigm. I'm talking about things that ripple out for millennia, okay? It's really hard to wrap the human brain around this. However, these are the concepts. These are the frequencies that are going into the Reset Retreat in May, on May 30th in Costa Rica, okay? So what can you expect? from this experience. I want you to bring your imagination to bear with me and create this picture in your mind's eye. If you're driving when you're listening to this, please don't close your eyes. If you're in a place where you can close your eyes, I invite you to. I want you to imagine landing in Costa Rica. You've just arrived on your flight and you get off the plane and you are stepping into the San Jose airport. That airport has a near and dear place in my heart because I've been there several times. And then you are walking over to the private charter area where the private jet is going to pick you up. And you're walking into, with your luggage, you're walking onto this small plane and it takes off. And it's a very short trip, and you're just witnessing out of your window the rainforest, the countryside, the wild jungle of Central America. And then you land, the plane is pulling onto the landing strip. You walk down the little steps of the plane, and you really believe that you have walked into paradise because you're looking around you and you're seeing these architect buildings that look like they are straight out of Bali. They're like inspired by Balinese architecture, and you just feel this vibe from the earth. Now you're feeling that because there are crystals buried all over this campus. But you're also feeling what you're feeling there, this like charge of life mixed with this deep, refreshing like reset for your nervous system, because this is pristinely cared for land. This land has been regenerated and rebuilt. This land is just really well cared for. And if you have interacted with lands like this, you know what I'm talking about. I've traveled the world several times. For the last 30 years, I've seen, just a small fraction of what our world is, but I have seen more than most. And of all the places that I have traveled on this beautiful planet, Costa Rica is one of the most magical places I've ever been. So you've just gotten there, right? And you're kind of looking around and getting your bearings, and then you're greeted by a staff member. Maybe you're even greeted by me. Maybe I'm coming up and wrapping my arms around you and like showing you to your accommodations. The accommodations here, guys, are absolutely luxurious. I encourage you right now to scroll down on the show notes and click on the landing page for the retreat, just to see some pictures of where you will be staying in this place. It's mind-blowing. Maybe you have your own personal infinity pool. Maybe you're sharing it with 2 or 3 of your neighbors, but there's a waterfall on campus. So you get there, you get into your accommodations, you're getting grounded, and then you come and we're meeting for our orientation. And at this orientation, we are setting the intention of what this week is going to be. This is much more than a retreat. Will it be a retreat? Absolutely. Will you get to lay down your responsibilities for an entire week? Yes. And for the leaders, I know who you guys are. I know the responsibilities you're carrying on your shoulders. So I know that laying that down for a week is enough, right? Like that's enough for you to be like, sign me up. But that's not only what is happening. While that's happening, while your nervous system is unwinding itself, while you're breathing in this pure oxygen in this wild rainforest, not even just 10 minutes away, a drive away from the beach, the Pacific Ocean, while this is happening, you're also setting the intention for what the next 5 to 10 years of your life is going to look like. Because you want to bring it about, you want to manifest this in a way that's very clear, that's very easy is the closest word I can find. It's not exactly the correct word, but you want to manifest in a way with the least amount of resistance possible and as quickly as possible, right? Like you want to create global impact as quickly and easily as possible, You hear people have all these success stories all the time, but then you look at their health and their adrenals are shot. They have liver issues. Their stress, like their cortisol, is all out of whack. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like, yes, you'll become a billionaire and you'll also like need a liver transplant. Like, these are the stories that you hear. No, I'm talking about creating global impact from a place of pristine rest, regeneration, right? Now, how does that happen? After your orientation, you will have time to connect with Mother Earth on your own, in silence, in semi-solitude. It's semi-solitude because there are going to be other people on the campus, but the intention of this week is to create so much space for you that if you want to go be silent for 8 hours right there, watching the sloths, you can. You can. That's where we receive some of our best downloads. This is in a blue zone where you're free from chemical poisons that unfortunately in the United States we have to deal with a lot of on a day-to-day basis. Like, just getting in a pristine environment like that automatically silences out so much noise, right? But then it gets better, because then in the evening, if you choose to come to the group container, we will be having some workshops that are not going to necessarily engage your thinking brain, but they are going to engage a part of you that is so used to taking a back seat. This is the more intuitive side of you that knows everything. I am fully convinced that we have access to all source knowledge and we know everything. We just can't remember all of it. You're going to have more access during this week than you perhaps ever have in your life. Which brings me to a frequently asked question that I'm going to answer right now. Is this a medicine-guided journey? No, it is not. We will not be having psychedelics of any kind or medicine of any kind, and that's for a few different reasons, but it's not necessary for this week. That's not the intention. The intention is to, from a sober place, get into such connection with the deepest parts of you that does know everything, so that you can access the highest version of you that has already achieved your greatest and wildest successes in the cleanest and clearest way possible, and bring that online so that when you go home, you're able to move and live and operate in this way that starts manifesting the results immediately. This is what I call quantum manifestation. And we do it, I do this with my clients, my one-on-one clients. We enter into a 12-month-long mentorship where at the end of the 12 months, they know exactly how to manifest anything that they want on demand, always, right? Now, in this 1 week, I can't teach you everything that I teach in 12 months in 1 week, but being in person and being in the right place at the right time with the right people will accelerate your biggest ideas, your biggest dreams, your desire for global impact. It will ignite something in you that has never had the full space to be expressed and actualized and fully embodied. And that is what this week is all about, right? Now, how does that look? How is that going to look on a day-to-day when you're down there in Costa Rica? Guess what? It's so underwhelming. You're going to take naps. You're going to journal. You're going to hike in the rainforest. You're going to sit on the sand. You're going to get in the ocean. Yes, we're going to have some guided activities. Absolutely. I'm collaborating with a previous client of mine. We may have some guided shamanic breath work. We're definitely going to have neo-shamanic clearings if desired. That's something that I will be offering. I haven't really advertised this in public yet. This is pretty new for me to be speaking out loud, but I am able and qualified to facilitate neo-shamanic clearings and deeper embodiment. So offering that in person, absolutely will change the rest of your life if that's something that you feel called to receive. All of this is optional, but having access to these things that you can't find anywhere else in your day-to-day life, especially if you're a CEO, especially if you're a healer and you're the healer in the room and you're the one that everyone else is looking to help them and heal them. This is for you to receive, right? Environment is everything. Environment is it's everything. So if there's something in your world that you're wanting to bring forth and to birth, and you want to do it as easily as possible. This reminds me of when I was a birth doula for 13 years. It's like, if you have something coming through you, whether it's an actual baby or whether it's a business idea or a venture, whatever it is, it's going to happen. It's going to come through. The question is, how easy can we do this? And with how much resistance can we just completely lower and eliminate, right? Because the path of least resistance is the quickest path to expansion. It's the quickest path to manifestation. It's the quickest path to resourcefulness, to being resourced, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what I'm all about. I'm about resourcing you to be the highest and best version of you, to do exactly what you're here to do. Because I know if you are listening to this, you have big shit to do, right? And so resourcing you to get that done with the least amount of resistance possible, that is what Reset is all about. So a couple of frequently asked questions. Number one, do I have to be a medical practitioner to come to attend Reset? In short, no, you don't. However, please be aware that is the intention that this week is revolved around. So you may be in the presence of several medical practitioners, and there may be a language there that they are speaking that does or does not resonate with you. However, if you identify as a leader, that is what is important when you're considering applying and coming to the Reset Retreat. Are you a leader? Are you leading a team? Are you leading your business? Are you leading yourself, your home? Your medical practice, if you are a practitioner, right? What and who are you leading? Do you have a sense of this deeper call, this mission? Or do you have this sense that you've got one, that you've got a calling, but you're not quite sure what it is and you want to connect with it? Then this is absolutely for you. Absolutely. So the short answer is no, you do not need to be a medical practitioner in order to attend. One of the questions I've received is, I lead a busy life. Let me read it. I lead a busy life. The last thing I want is another workshop style experience where I have to be on and engage in a ton of activities with strangers every day. Is this retreat still for me? That was from one of my previous one-on-one clients. And actually, yes, this retreat is built specifically for the people who do have a lot of responsibilities, who do lead busy lives. And this is not a networking thing. You're not coming down to Costa Rica to network. You're going to be surrounded by people who get you. You're going to be surrounded by people who understand. But everyone who is coming to this has their own personal agenda as well. And it's very, very personal and very individual. And that's why we're structuring this as a largely unstructured event with a lot of spaciousness, a lot of time to be with nature from a place of intention, from a place of clarity, right? But then when we want to interact with each other, knowing that we are interacting with people who get it. They get it. So they will be speaking your same language. One question is, what is the food like? Oh my God, top notch. That's all you need to know. Top notch. It's locally sourced from farms in the area. It's apparently the food, everybody completely raves about the food. Let's see. Do you have payment plans? Yes, we do. There are payment plans available. Just check out the landing page in the show notes below after this episode. What if I have more questions? Yes, please email me at alchemywithallison Allison, Allison, at gmail.com. And I personally will answer your questions. If I don't see it, one of my team will alert me and I will get in touch with you. It's just a joy to be hosting this as someone where international travel has been a part of my lifestyle since I was 9 years old. I know the magic that is available to us when we take ourselves out of the fishbowl that we live in, right? Our day-to-day normal activities. We remove ourselves from that and we place ourselves in an environment where we know magic is going to happen. These are completely transformative times when we do that. And it is just a joy and a privilege to be able to host you for that type of experience. So if you have questions, you can DM me on Instagram at Alchemy with Allison, or like I said, you can email me at alchemywithallison@gmail.com. I would be happy to talk with you. Early bird pricing is going through December 15th if you use the code Leaders Go First. That's in all caps. And the first is the numeral 1 ST. So Leaders Go First, all caps, for early bird pricing, and that is ending December 15th. And I think, I haven't checked lately, but I'll be good on my word, even if I'm misspeaking right now. There are 3 more complimentary massages left for the next 3 registrants. So not only do you get some of the first dibs on some of the most amazing amenities and accommodations, but you also receive a complimentary massage just for being among the first to register for this amazing, epic event. We already have 3 signed up already. So anyway, go ahead and click on that landing page, check out the accommodations, choose what feels right for you. There's single occupancy, there's double occupancy. If there's something that feels that you want to change, just ask. Like if you're curious, ask. This is an all-inclusive curated event, and it's just going to feel incredible. This is not going to be something that you need to plan or something else that you need to do. All you need to do is show up. All you need to do is show up and receive. So if there's anything that you need from now until then, you reach out to me. I will get you some answers. It would be a joy to host you. I will talk to you soon. I'm going to hop off here and go tend to my family. Same time, same place next week. I love you. Thanks for hanging in with me, and I'll see you later.